Welcome back to our third installment in External Control Arms. I'm Jason Drenning, Vice President of HEOR and Business Development at StatMed Research. I have two of my colleagues here, Dr. Noor Janjan, Chief Medical Officer, and Sumit Verma, Associate Director of HEOR. We've had a couple of videos that we've pushed out previously. One was more general, related to our experience and viewpoints on external control arms. And then secondly, we highlighted some of the trends that we're seeing that are being driven by COVID-19. So today, we're going to discuss the important data considerations in conducting an external control arm. So we've met Nora before, and she's given some background on these videos. Sumit, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Thank you, Jason. My name is Sumit Verma. I'm an Associate Director in the HEOR team at StatMed. I've worked in the area of pharmacoepidemiology, safety, healthcare resource utilization, and cost, among other health outcome studies. And my research is focused on understanding disease burden, identifying treatment patterns, and unmet need to generate evidence supporting clinical effectiveness and value proposition. With over 9 years of experience in working with pharmaceutical industry and government agencies such as the FDA and the CMS, I've used a variety of commercial and government claims and EHR databases. In addition to this, I have expertise in study design such as external control arms.
Great, thanks, Sumit. And really the focus here with this team of three is to not just speak to some of the experiences that we've had, but to also highlight some of the expertise in this space. So Sumit would like to just start off by asking you some questions about the data that typically is used for these types of studies. So certainly one of the key considerations in conducting a successful external control arm is the choice of data source. What types of data, Sumit, are typically being used in these studies?
Well, mainly electronic health records data, although in some cases, registry data, medical charts, surveys, or even retrospective trial data. The key is being able to match the study arm patients, particularly the inclusion-exclusion criteria, to the control group. And to do so, especially for orphan oncology drugs or rare diseases, there needs to be an ability to look at the unstructured data, right? So, or maybe have a robust set of data points available to closely match to the study arm. There is also a need to consider clinical sources beyond clinical community oncology EHRs. So the bottom line is that these type of regulatory grade data needs require more than just structured EMR data. And the details require technology such as AI or NLP, or even concerted data collection efforts that we see in registries.
Right, and it seems like the key consideration is ensuring that the data being derived from these historical data sets can be aligned to whatever is being analyzed prospectively, and that seems to be where the challenge is, and that's why selecting the most relevant data sources are important, especially from a clinical standpoint. So, Nora, from a clinical standpoint, what are your thoughts on using these types of data sets as external control arms?
Jason, I couldn't agree with you more. The external control designs have the potential to improve the evaluation of novel experimental agents in clinical trials and accelerate drug development by leveraging the external data. The use of external controls in oncology, especially with adjustments for clinical profiles of the enrolled patients, should be preferred to single arm studies or randomized controlled trials, and they have fixed efficacy thresholds, which can be extracted from published results in the current standard of care.
Right. I mean, it seems like one of the main drivers here, especially with this trend in say the past couple of years, is really FDA. So FDA's acknowledged the use of real world data to inform real world evidence, albeit there are concerns regarding reliability and relevance of the underlying real world data. But Sumit, in your experience and based on what you've seen, what are some other lessons learned in working with FDA on external control arms?
Well, FDA regulations explicitly recognizes the use of external control, including a hybrid approach where a clinical trial control group is augmented with external data to support regulatory decision making. While the use of external control data matures to a point where it may support regulatory approval more broadly, careful consideration should be given to near-term uses in appropriate regulatory and clinical contexts.
It makes sense. And Nora, I know you've had plenty of interaction with FDA and experience in that regard. Anything you want to add in that realm?
Well, in working with the FDA, it's clear that there are several key points. First, there's a fit for purpose data or customized data is certainly preferred to the quote unquote off the shelf data. However, historical control data is not a replacement for randomized controlled trials, but they can accelerate the development of drug development. Although propensity scoring could improve the quality of the external control data that are used when randomization may not be feasible, or there are ethical issues involved to provide adequate coverage of the covariates. So based on what we're seeing, it's useful to be able to have early discussions with the FDA to get some feedback about the potential use of external control data. Formal product meetings are recommended, and the FDA welcomes discussions with real-world evidence subcommittee.
It's really helpful. So Nora and Sumit, thank you so much for your expertise and for your thoughts on this topic. So we will continue this series with a fourth video focused finally on study design and methodology. So the database considerations are very important, equally important, the way that that data is handled and analyzed and the way studies are designed, and comparing historical data to prospective data. So thank you very much. Look forward to the next video.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.